Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Danger99 here, and today we are at my school, Memorial High School. Check it out. I don't know if you can see it. It's all the way down there. We're kind of in an open field right now, but I figured this would be a perfect place to bring up a topic I've been meaning to discuss for a long time, and that topic is called monogamy. I mean, monogamy, as many people see it, is one of the most basic, it's the basic, most common form of having like any sort of intimate, more than friends relationship with anyone. It's as basic as it gets: boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. However, what I want to ask you is monogamy really mandatory? You see, for many, many years now, centuries, millenniums, it's been around for a long time, but people have been going about having significant others as husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend. Ever since before biblical times, people have been doing that. And during those times, this was actually enforced. It was enforced because the population was so dense and low. I don't know if dense is the right word, but the population back then was of utmost concern. So oftentimes they had to implement rules and laws and teachings and things that would be seen as homophobic and xenophobic today in order to perfectly preserve their population and stabilize it. Nowadays, do we really need that anymore? Because there's 8 billion people in the world. I mean, of course we want successors, of course we want those, but like, you see, our human nature, all of us, even animals, our human nature, it forces us to be sexual. We all act and behave in sexual manners with others we deem worthy, at the very least. However, these teachings, some people might think it's Satan convincing them to do this shit. I don't believe so, but you can believe what you want. It's First Amendment right. But, you see, you'll often find if you're in lust, you're facing a difficult battle because you're fighting against your own human nature. So it's kind of like, why put yourself through that pain at all? There are tons and tons of religious teachings out there that say, oh, don't do this or you're sinning. Oh, don't do that or you're sinning. It's good to keep up to date with science when it comes to that stuff. I'm not saying having any religious beliefs is bad, but it's good to keep up to date on what science really says on the matter. Because if you think about it, science is what governs the entire universe around us. It's how everything works, and it's all based on proof and facts. So, whenever I see a religious teaching that's like, oh, don't do this or you're lustful and sinning, I kind of try to consult science first on that. Again, you do you, but just think of this, what I'm trying to say for a second. So, I'm going to craft a scenario for you. We have a man and his name is Steve. We'll give him that name. He has a wife named Mary. Well, a girlfriend named Mary. So Steve's girlfriend, Mary, is a strictly religious, monogamous individual. You see where I'm going with this? And so, but Steve, wanting to embrace his own human nature, finds himself unable to look away from other women, right? I mean, it's where we got that distracted boyfriend meme format. So, however, when he finds it's impossible to fight against his own human nature, he tries to have a one-night stand and keep it secret. But as a result, his girlfriend/wife Mary finds out. And then he loses Mary for the remainder of his life, despite the fact that it was all the doing of his own human nature. Yet he blames it on himself with religious teachings that really serve no other good purpose. I'm talking specific ones that try to preach of lust. No. So as a result of that, the religious teachings where someone is forced to behave one way and not act sexual with others, it goes against one's own human nature, and it sets them up for failure. So So do we really need to stick with monogamy, or can we kind of go a little easy on ourselves instead of setting ourselves up for failure? You see, humans and animals, any living being that sexually reproduces, has been having sex and engaging sexually for decades, years, centuries. It's what kept us all alive. But I choose to look at it this way. If you're gonna jerk off or have sex with someone, it's probably not gonna anger some higher God. It's probably not going to do that. I mean, after all, why would God create us a certain way if he doesn't want us to act that way, unless for very specific circumstances that set someone up for failure? Why would that be the case? You know? It kind of just doesn't make sense, does it? So, anytime I see a church preaching about lust, I'm thinking, man, these people really don't know how they're setting their own selves up for failure. And really, the pastors that teach about this, that claim to have beaten it, are either one of two things. They're either secretly engaging with this lust without telling no one and feeling shame and never confessing, or two, they have destroyed themselves in their own human nature. Why would you want to do that? Well, of course, they believe it's to satisfy some upper, higher being. I'm not against that. I want to be clear. I believe in an upper, higher being, but I'm not really someone to judge people for what they do. But like, especially since not all Christians are like that. You see, Queso, who has gone a really big live streamer since 2023, so Queso was addressed by his fans saying Sketch did something really bad. This was during a time where Sketch's history with pornography had gotten leaked. No, not a search history. He used to work as a porn star. And so everyone kept telling Queso, Sketch did something really bad. And he's like, oh my gosh, I think Sketch killed somebody. He looks it up only to find out that Sketch was a porn star. And he's like, what did he do? Because as far as he's concerned, he stayed within his amendment rights. He did everything legally. No minors were involved. If minors were involved, that'd be another story, you know? So it's kind of like, Queso's like, y'all made me think Sketch killed somebody. But no, he's only doing what he had a right to do. And quoting him directly, he said, I'm not hesitant to advocate for those who just want to do what they want to do as long as nobody else gets hurt. And that's the ideal way to look at it. So when I'm saying this, do we really have to stick to strictly unopened, strictly monogamous relationships where it's like, oh, we can't think about another woman's boobs other than our own wife? Do we really have to be that hard on ourselves, especially if those laws are no longer necessary with the population as dense as it is? I think not. So really, my ladies out there, anytime your boy cheats on you, like, come on, you've set him up in a way that completely tears up his own human nature, and his whole body's just going to betray himself. So if your boy is getting one night stands without you knowing, don't feel betrayed, because really he can't help it. He pretty much can't help it most of the time. There are some people that manage to do it, and the only way they do it is they probably find ways to completely stifle their sexuality in a way that brings no real benefit in the end. So it's like, why even bother, you know? What I have to say is, just consider your options. You're not down strict to, you gotta have one girl and don't cheat on her. Try to think about your options, because there are people out there that embrace having open relationships, whether it be polygamous or monogamous relationships with other people involved or whatever, like partners and things. So when someone tries to say, oh, what you're doing is lustful and wrong, don't listen to them. Unless it's something really bad and really illegal, like, bestiality or zoo crap or pedophilia for that matter, if you're engaging in that, hell, those are situations in which the species of being you're trying to procreate with has no real mental capacity to consent. And that's where it becomes bad. You see, the reason why people find themselves in situations where they feel like, oh, I can't stop lusting, I'm angering God, is because it deliberately sets you up in a place where it makes you believe there's nowhere to set the boundary and stick the stick in the ground. To make you believe, oh, you'll keep picking it up and placing it here. Oh, I gotta pick it up again and place it here. Oh no, it's going too far, I'm lusting, that sort of thing. So, in reality, there is an easy place to stick that stick in the ground. And where you need to stick that stick in the ground is way over here at consent. Consent is key for sexual intercourse. If someone's not consenting, you're raping them, basically. I mean, we all know that by now. So with a key place to take away all tabooness that fuels any kind of pornographic addiction of any sort, as well as a good, responsible place where you're not going to hurt anyone or go outside their boundaries, what I'm telling you is exactly what what a lot of porn stars do when they engage in this work. They navigate within the realms of consent. And you'll find that the realms of consent are so vast and in a way where no one gets hurt. Like, you can explore your fantasies openly and even with other people without hurting someone. So anytime someone tries to preach monogamy on me and like, oh, you got to stick with one girl, yeah, only if you set the relationship up that way. See, that's another thing that's key. Communication. Without good communication, and this is just in general, bad communication leads to bad teamwork. And bad teamwork leads to the undesired outcome. So when you're with someone, communicate with them. Acknowledge your own human nature in that sense. And know that no, you're not gonna be able to stick to this one girl your whole dang life. It's not gonna be that easy unless you completely sexually suppress yourself, which is not easy to do. And when you do it, you're missing out on everything. You're missing out on one of the biggest sections of life. So, in conclusion, communicate with your girl. Make sure she knows, hey, I'm not going to get mad or upset at my boyfriend because he has sex with someone else. He's only following what his human nature pretty much forces him to do. So what I'm saying is, don't feel like you're limited to monogamy. You're not limited to that. And if a religion tries to tell you otherwise, try to keep an open mind with science. I'm not saying completely give up their religion. Absolutely not. Everyone deserves to have a right to their own religious beliefs. But try to keep up to date with the reality and what all science can address, especially on this issue. Well, I love you all. And I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Peace out.